8th of June 2026, and last weekend and during the weeknights Bruno's been bricking up this window. It's double brick. Yeah, and the reason why we wanted to get rid of it is because we want to put a cupboard all the way along this wall, which will hold the electricity boxes and things over there, and then space for some coats and shoes, and then a seat in the middle that will be 90 centimeters wide, or maybe a meter, and then another sliding wardrobe door there that holds the washing machine, which was plumbed in there before we started this work, and a little sink, like a kind of a utility room, somewhere to wash your hands when you just get in the door, basically. And there's also where that pipe goes out through that wall, that's created an outdoor tap. This is still leaking a little bit, so Bruno's father, who did all this work, is going to come over and fix that leak at some point. And in somewhere around about mid-July, we've got a front door with a side piece that's going to go in there. That's going to be about as wide as that one, and the front door's 90 centimeters wide. We wanted it quite wide because that's where we'll be bringing shopping bags in, and we didn't want a narrow door. And that'll open outwards onto the patio that we plan to build the other side of that one day. This was a table that Bruno got given for free. That's pretty awesome. We'll probably do that up and create for the big house like a nice big family table. All of these flowers here have just been blooming and blooming and blooming, and yeah, this looks really nice. We've got some monster, absolute monster thistle things here, which I don't really like, but yeah, I'm going to pick some of these flowers later and put them in our room. The front garden, we've been doing a lot more gardening lately, pretty much trying to keep the nettles down. So there'll be a deck over there eventually, and I want to build in a sort of a hidden bit in that corner for those two bins, which are really ugly. I've been kind of trying to keep this down with mulch, but as you can see, it's overgrown again. So there's another big weeding job there, there's a big weeding job here. I want to probably mulch this whole side part here, but I've got to dig a trench around the outside of the wall at some point to do the waterproofing on the outside. So that's what it looks like on the outside. I did all the mowing yesterday except for the field. So this is, I mean, yeah, all this concrete here, we're going to have to jackhammer that out to get it down to the level that it needs to be for that door that goes in there. I cannot wait to get rid of these filthy windows, and if I'd known how long we'd have to put up with them, I probably would have cleaned them years ago. So we've got some lettuce and aloe vera growing there. This is some pretty flowers, our lemon tree, more pretty flowers. I've got chilies there and a tomato plant there, and this is 3 sunflowers. We tend to always grow sunflowers there, and that's my gardening box. So over here, I've got lots of flowers in here. This is some kind of a special one. Don't know what's going to come out there. I've got mint here. So this is the kitchen garden. It's supposed to be the kitchen garden. I'm not quite sure what that one is. These are blueberry and a blueberry, honeyberry and black. Oh, can't remember. What is it? That's honeyberry. This one is blackcurrant, Johannisbeer. We got some raspberries yesterday, but I ate them. Here I've done some sweet peas to grow up this fence. This is, I don't know, white beard bushes, which I hope will kind of cover up that area a bit. A jasmine, a peony. Luckily the walnut tree did take, after all that work. This tree seems to be dead at the top, unfortunately. Hang on, that's a Palovnia, and there's a Palovnia over here. So I've cleaned up all that area around the bath that was full of nettles. Got rid of some nettles here, but still some to go. Got rid of a ton of nettles here. One of my jobs today is I'm going to dig around this trench and I'm going to mulch this whole area and then eventually grow some flowers in that thing. I tried to move it yesterday and it's way too heavy. We have recently took down this lean-to barn here. One of my jobs today or soon is to get rid of all this hay stuff. So that's the other Palovnia, that's doing okay. We put down a ton of pine needles here to keep the nettles down after digging them out. And it actually seems to work quite well. This mulching, we've got this kind of mulch, which is big bits of wood. And then we've got these pine needles that all fell off the tree that we cut down from the front garden. And we didn't really know what to do with this whole pile of needles after we got the wood out. We've used the wood to build those, like I'll show you in a sec, but basically we're still clearing this up. We've moved the fireplace to here. I've given up trying to mow this field. If you try and mow half a hectare, you finish at one end and then you just have to start again at the beginning. We've got a ton of nettles over there. I've got that corner all to clear out, but it's full of asbestos, so I've got to get a suit on, a mask for that. So we've got lots and lots and lots of lovely strawberries here. I can just come out in the morning and munch on strawberries. That's pretty amazing. And here I've got, yeah, so this is our veggie patch. I think this veggie patch isn't going so well. That's all tomatoes in there, but they don't seem to be growing. And I got a ton of sprouted potatoes one day, and so we dug them in there and they seem to be going gangbusters. And this is our other walnut tree that we put in from someone down the road who wanted to chop it down. There's an Orly. We've got an apple tree here that our neighbours gave to us, which was really lovely of them, and we've got apples growing on it. Yeah, so that looked beautiful in the spring when it was covered in blossom. And then we've planted a whole row of trees here, and I kind of mow a strip down here just so that we can get to them easily and water them. There's a ton of hay down there at the bottom of the field. That's where I'll be putting all that stuff from over there. Okay, so that's the update.